While we cannot wait for a little taste of Michaela's tunes, in the meantime, Chef Tumi is here to give us a taste of pure bliss.
Made with love by Clover.
What's soft, fluffy, and indulgently decadent? Not my personality. It's our Clover Bliss chocolate-filled donuts. Oh, these are crazy. They are a real treat, perfect for satisfying that sweet craving. And Chef Tumi is here to show us how it's done. This is my guilty pleasure. I won't lie, like donuts in any form are my guilty completely. I have a weakness. So, yeah, you're an enabler this morning. That's what you are. You're enabling me.
You and me
and
both,
I love it, and I thank you for it. So we don't want this to be too difficult because we want this, as many people as possible to try this at home because it's fun, it's exciting, and of course the reward at the end is just amazing. So where do we begin?
We begin with our dry ingredients. So to make any type of dombolo, dumpling, donut. It's amazing that they all start with D now that I think about it.
Yeah, delicious.
They all start with a beautiful amount of flour, and then we're mixing in our dry ingredients, which over here I've got some baking powder. I've also got a bit of salt because it always is important to have that balance with the salt and the sugar in your baked goods.
Yeah.
And then I also have a bit of sugar. So before I add in our wet ingredients, I'm just going to mix these all together.
Okay, so and the sugar, so you want the dough itself is going to have a sweet taste, you know, and undertone. Brilliant.
True, because like normally if you'd be doing things like amakuinya, you wouldn't add that much sugar. You just need the sugar there to work with the yeast. In this instance, we're not using any yeast, we're using baking powder. So we want to actually flavor the dough.
Okay.
And then into that, I'm going to go in with some of my butter that we've melted because we always need a bit of a fat to combine the dish. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of our buttermilk this time. Because what I want to do is I want to combine it first, and then if it's a little too stiff, then I'll add more.
Yeah, the one risk start from that side, polarity, and then work your way in. Okay, that makes sense.
Correct. The one thing you do not want is a dough that's too runny and you can't, you know, add those.
And then you're falling before you've even got started. What is the trick with buttermilk? Why do we incorporate buttermilk in so many recipes like this?
It's because of the, you know what, the acid content. You know, whenever you're baking something like that, the baking powder and so forth needs something like that to help activate them as well. So that's
you're a mad scientist.
Exactly. It's all about the science. This is why I always tell people that I prefer to do the sweets, the savory stuff, but these are the kind of sweet treats that are, like you said, an indulgence, and I'm okay with, you know, falling by the wayside just for them.
Yeah, so, man, and the trick here is because they're so small, you think, just one. Maybe two,
then next
or nine, you know.
And it's beautiful that we're pairing them with something that's awesome because you can have this on its own, you can have it in the donut, you can have it on the donut, you can have it around the donut.
You can have a fountain and you can just dip the donut in it. Depending on how much bliss you have in your house. But the bliss is beautiful because it's going to be a perfect complement, I think, to the texture of the donut. It's beautiful, it's creamy, and of course it's got that lovely, intense chocolatey flavor.
So normally you'd want to roll these babies up, but because of the kind of dough, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to call them circles or spheres. I'm going to make some oblong things that we're going to fry up. And then these beauties we're going to fill with our beautiful Clover Bliss chocolate dessert. So I'm going to start frying these babies up, and maybe you can start mixing our cinnamon sugar for us. Because that's what we're going to toss our babies in. And then after tossing them, we're going to fill them.
Fill them with
or dunk them. Actually, it's completely up to you. I mean, you could do a whole glug of the bliss. It's completely up to you. Up to you. All right, so I'm going to just keep frying these babies. All we want is for them to be nice and golden brown. Your oil should be at the correct temperature. You don't want it too hot because then all that happens is it burns on the outside and stays.
It doesn't cook through. Okay, how do you know the temperature's at the right, you know, failing having a...
The whole idea is to start off low. So I always suggest start off with the lower temperature and then work it up because you don't know, obviously, depending on the strength of your stove and so forth. So I just suggest start low and keep increasing. You can always just use a little bit of your batter to test the heat of whatever you're making. And then as it keeps frying up, if you see that it's taking too long, then just increase the heat.
Then you can just gradually, again, work from one polarity and kind of work your way up. I get that.
Yes.
Okay, so how do we fill these guys with the joy, the magic of our bliss?
I'm going to ask you, sir, to pour some of our beautiful bliss in here because we're going to type. Normally, you could, like I said, you could fill them, you could dunk them. It's completely up to you. I think that's fine. Let's work with that. And then maybe please hold it up for me. Seal the top. There we go. So the reason I've done this is so that it doesn't sink to the bottom and come out the other end. Okay. And then now, can I ask you to poke some holes into our little donuts there at the end?
Do that.
And then I'm just going to fill these babies with our Clover Bliss medium cream dessert. So imagine the flavor of the cinnamon and the sugar together with the chocolate. I haven't taken
it too far. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, this is a win. Absolutely love this, man. This is something you can really get stuck into, and it just shows the versatility of something like the Clover Bliss medium cream chocolate dairy dessert. It's ready to eat. You can just have it as a chocolate dairy dessert as is. You can pour it, you can sauce it up, you can top it, you can insert it into the middle. No whipping, no cooking, no baking, no fuss, just ready to eat, indulgent. And if you're going to use it as an ingredient or on its own as a snack, you have an absolute winner. It's probably one of the most versatile dessert kind of tools, if anything, that we have. Absolutely beautiful. And I like this. You can have a lot of fun with this and really push the boat out with the kind of toppings that you want, you know, the kind of sugar coating, if you, depending on your sweet tooth, you know what you like. Key thing, make a lot. Make as many as you can because they will go fast. To me, this is delicious. It's amazing. And they look absolutely beautiful. If you missed any of the steps, take a look at this.
Made with love by Clover.